The sun blazes over the Mediterranean, but nothing is hotter than the drama unfolding in the bold and the beautiful. On Wednesday, August 6th, fans are in for a pulse-pounding mix of heroism, betrayal, and long-buried secrets. The Mediterranean glistens under the afternoon sun, its serene beauty hiding the storm that's about to erupt. On the deck of the luxury yacht, Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan share a fragile moment, an uneasy peace tinged with unresolved emotions. Their love has been tested more times than the tides can count, and today, the ocean itself seems to be holding its breath. Then, he appears. Nick Maroney. His eyes lock with Ridge's from a distance, and the tension is immediate, palpable. This is a man who knows he shouldn't be here, a man who carries the weight of unspoken history. But instead of confrontation, Nick chooses flight. He abruptly accelerates his boat, slicing through the water, as if running from both Ridge and the consequences of his presence. But the chaos is only beginning. Brooke, startled by Nick's sudden departure and the whirlwind of emotions surging around her, loses her footing. The world tilts. In an instant, she plunges into the shimmering blue below. Her scream is swallowed by the sea, and time itself seems to fracture. Ridge doesn't hesitate. His heart lurches, and he dives headfirst into the Mediterranean, the splash echoing like a gunshot across the waves. For a harrowing moment, Brooke is just a blur beneath the water. He reaches her, fighting against the drag of the sea, and pulls her into his arms. Salt water stings, but nothing can match the burning fear in his chest. When they finally break the surface, Brooke clings to him, gasping. Their eyes meet, and in that heartbeat, everything changes. All the denials, all the excuses wash away with the tide. Ridge's voice is raw as he admits the truth he's fought for too long. "You were right, Logan. You're the one I love. You've always been the one." This rescue isn't just a heroic act. It's the rebirth of a love that refuses to drown, no matter how deep the waters or how strong the storm. Back in Los Angeles, the air is heavy with tension. Grace sits across from Finn, her composure slipping with every passing second. The walls feel closer than ever, and her heartbeat pounds like a guilty drum. For weeks, Grace has played a dangerous game, spinning lies, manipulating Liam Spencer's treatment, and thinking she could outsmart fate. But Finn is not a man who tolerates betrayal. "Grace, enough. I need the truth," Finn demands, his voice cutting through the silence like a scalpel. His eyes, usually calm and compassionate, are filled with suspicion and disappointment.
Grace hesitates, her hands trembling. She tries to deflect, to justify, but Finn's relentless questions are like waves battering a crumbling wall. Every denial chips away at the facade until, finally, it shatters. Her voice cracks, and the confession pours out. "Yes, I lied. I tampered with Liam's medication. I did it because I had no choice." Her words hang in the air, poisonous and heavy. She explains in fragments, deaths that swallowed her life, threats that loomed over her family. Every decision she made, she insists, was born from desperation, not malice. But Finn doesn't flinch, and neither does the truth. The room feels colder now. Grace, once respected and composed, is reduced to a pleading figure. She leans forward, eyes wet with fear. "Please, Finn, don't tell anyone. If this comes out, I'll lose everything, my family, my future, it'll all be gone." But Finn's jaw tightens. His moral compass is unwavering. Covering for Grace would make him complicit in a betrayal that already shattered lives. He thinks of Liam, of hope, of the ripple effects Grace's deception has caused. He can't look away. "No, Grace," he says firmly. "I can't keep this a secret. What you've done, it has consequences." Her sobs echo in the room, a chilling soundtrack to the collapse of her carefully guarded world. And as Finn turns away, the audience is left to wonder, what price will Grace pay now that the mask has fallen? And who else might fall with her when the truth reaches the light? To truly understand Grace Buckingham's shocking actions, we must first step into the dark, complicated legacy of the Buckingham family, a legacy filled with scandal, heartbreak, and unfinished business. Grace's ex-husband, Reese Buckingham, has been absent from Los Angeles for 6 long years, his last appearance tied to one of the most infamous storylines in The Bold and the Beautiful. In 2019, Reese's world crumbled after his involvement in a criminal scheme led to his arrest and imprisonment. His downfall was a public spectacle. One Ridge Forrester himself recalled with bitter clarity, leaving Grace and their daughters to pick up the shattered pieces of their family's reputation. Grace's daughters have followed very different paths. Paris Buckingham seems to have found stability, or so it appears. Engaged to Thomas Forrester and helping to raise young Douglas, Paris has carved out a respectable life. On the surface, she seems far removed from her parents' chaos. But Zoe Buckingham is another story entirely. Since 2021, Zoe has been living in Europe after leaving Los Angeles under a cloud of emotional instability and personal failures. Her history of erratic decisions and troubled relationships left scars, not just on her own life, but on her family's reputation. Could Zoe's shadow still be haunting Grace? Could the mysterious phone calls Grace has been making be pleas for help from a desperate daughter on the edge?
Some speculate Grace may even be funneling money to Europe, trying to cover up yet another scandal before it explodes. And then there's a possibility that Reese himself, despite his incarceration, could be orchestrating events from the shadows. If so, Grace may be caught in the middle of a far larger and more dangerous web than anyone realizes. The pieces of the Buckingham puzzle are scattered, but one thing is clear. Grace's betrayal may be only the tip of an iceberg. Behind the silence, behind the phone calls, behind her desperate confession, lurks a family secret that could change everything. And when the truth surfaces, the entire Buckingham name might drown under the weight of its own sins. As Wednesday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful comes to a breathtaking close, two worlds collide in contrast. Across the sparkling Mediterranean, Ridge and Brooke stand soaked but united, their love reignited by a life-or-death moment that washed away months of doubt and distance. The hero has emerged, and for Brooke Logan, the man she has always loved has finally chosen her with his whole heart. But in Los Angeles, shadows loom. Grace Buckingham teeters on the edge of ruin, her confession to Finn sending shockwaves through the room and setting off a chain reaction that could devastate lives. Her plea for silence hangs in the air like smoke, but Finn's resolve is iron. Secrets this dangerous never stay buried, and the cost of her deception may only be beginning. And yet, something more sinister seems to be watching from the periphery. The unanswered phone calls, the unseen hands that might be pulling Grace into this spiral. Is Reese Buckingham about to make his return from the shadows? Will Zoe's off-screen life of chaos force its way back into the spotlight? Or is a completely new threat about to step into the light, using Grace's fall as the first move in a larger game? In true Bold and Beautiful fashion, the horizon promises both romance and ruin. Ridge and Brooke may be stronger than ever, but storms are always on the horizon. And Grace? Her story is only beginning, and the next chapter may be her most dangerous yet.